Hi everybody, it's Chef Shauna Grindstaff again of Dine 11 back in my classroom for our Friday cooking video. And once again, I'm by myself, so that's why our video footage is just so. All right, what are we making today? What in the world could we possibly be making today? Well, we're gonna make something I grew up with as a kid. Thanks, Mom. It's called a Wacky Cake. Well, what makes it so wacky? Well, most cakes have eggs in them, but not this one. That's why it's called a Wacky Cake. It's actually a Depression era cake when eggs were kind of expensive and a little on the sparse side. So bakers had to get creative. So today we're gonna be making a Wacky Cake. So this is gonna be a two-part video, one where I actually make the cake, pop it in the oven at 350 degrees, bake it for about a half an hour, and then when it's cooled off, I'll show you the finished product. So I'm using a 13 by 9 pan today. So you got plenty of cake left over, this is a delicious one. And believe me, with a family of 6, you're not gonna have any cake left over. So today we're gonna go ahead and start with our dry ingredients. So you're gonna be using a big glass bowl, or metal bowl is fine too. You're gonna add, and I've already measured out my ingredients. So you're gonna need 3 cups of flour. So I'm gonna go ahead and dump in my 3 cups of flour. You're gonna do your dry ingredients first. So once you get your 3 cups of flour in, try to keep it in the bowl. Then you're going to add to that 2 cups of sugar. So in goes the sugar, and like I said, I've already measured mine out for ease of preparation. And we're just using regular white sugar, just in case anybody happens to ask. You're going to need 2 teaspoons of baking soda. So we want our cake to rise. So we're gonna add 2 teaspoons of baking soda. I did not have that measured out. All right, there we go. Didn't quite get 2 teaspoons, there we go. And you're going to add a half a cup of cocoa. This is just cooking cocoa, so it's unsweetened. Now, if you're not a big fan of chocolate, I have made this as a vanilla version, and you just leave the cocoa out. So it's not the most amazing vanilla cake you'll ever eat in your life, but if you have an allergy to eggs, it actually will be quite a nice substitute. Oh, I almost forgot my 1 teaspoon of salt. That would not have been good. All right, so then I'm gonna add my teaspoon of salt, and you're going to go ahead and blend your dry ingredients together. I normally do this in a little bit bigger bowl, but you know, cooking in the classroom, you're kind of limited as to what you can do. So you're gonna mix this one up, and I do not make this cake in my KitchenAid. So I do not get out a mixer. This is one that needs to be done by hand. It's where the magic happens. Is it worth it? Absolutely. It really doesn't take that long. And I know that we have maybe some parties coming up where you want to make a little treat for your boys and ghouls. So this would be a good one. Not too bad calorie wise. You may have to walk around the block a couple of times, but just kind of a fun one because you're not expecting it with the ingredients. So you get your dry ingredients mixed. And then the trick to this one, and why I like to typically use a bigger bowl, but it was early this morning when I was leaving my house, so we just make do with what we have here. All right, so you're going to make wells. And my mom, now whether or not this is actually true or not, but my mom used to be like, don't mix the wet ingredients in. It's gonna explode. Now she would probably deny that, but because we were baking and there were so many of us, it was probably more like just to get us to pay attention than anything else. So I always grew up like thinking, oh my gosh, you can't let these ingredients touch, but really you don't want them to touch. So you're gonna make 3 little wells in your batter here. And to those, you're going to add some vanilla. You're gonna add 2 teaspoons of vanilla to 1 of your little wells, maybe your smaller one. There we go, 1. and 2. You're going to add 2 teaspoons of vinegar, and I'm just using white distilled vinegar today. I've tried it with apple cider. I don't suggest red wine vinegar, just the good old-fashioned white vinegar. You're gonna do 2 teaspoons of that, but not in the same hole, so a different hole as your vanilla. And then finally, you're going to add a cup of vegetable oil. So I'm just using good old-fashioned vegetable oil here. Gonna add that to the 3rd well. Mom would tell me, don't let them explode. All right, so then comes the fun part. You're going to take 2 cups of boiling water and pour it on top of everything and mix it up. And then you're going to pour that into a greased baking pan. So I'm just gonna grease that real quick, make sure it doesn't get stuck. There we go. Got my water boiling. I finally invested in one of those tea kettles where the water boils really quick. So let me go grab that. And because we're dealing with boiling water, moms and dads, you might wanna do this part. Don't burn yourself. So we're gonna pour in 2 cups of boiling water over the top. 1 and 2, there we go. And you'll see it start to get foamy, so there's a chemical reaction going on between our baking soda and our vinegar. If you've ever made the volcano, then you know what I'm talking about. So we're just gonna go ahead and give this a nice stir, get it all mixed up. Luckily, we didn't add so much baking soda to our mixture that it's like going crazy. So we're just gonna mix this up. And once we get this batter all mixed up, you're gonna try to get all the lumps out if you can. You're gonna pour that into your baking pan. So your oven is preheating to 350 degrees. You're gonna pour all of the batter in. And then depending on how long it takes for your oven, because everybody's oven is different. So we're gonna bake it for about a half an hour, and you can stick a toothpick in. What you're looking for is when you're checking to see if a cake is done. You can use a toothpick or a bamboo skewer. When you pull it out, always do it in the center of the cake, because if you do it on the edge, of course the edges bake faster than the middle of the cake. So put your toothpick in the middle of your cake. If you pull it out and it comes out clean, then it is A-okay. You can also do the spring test, but that's only if you have fingers of Teflon. So if you touch the center of your cake and it springs back, that's usually a pretty good indication that it's done. So, make sure that you do combine all of that batter, but don't over mix either. So when it looks like everything has been combined, then you're good to go. You just don't want any bits of flour or baking soda or salt. So there you go. So it smells really good too. So you're gonna just pop that into your pan and then let it bake. I'm gonna let mine cook for about a half an hour with my magical oven out here at school. And when I am done, I will start the second part of my video and show you the deliciousness. And since I'm making this at school, I don't have to share with anybody in my family. I probably will, because I really don't need to eat a whole cake, but you never know. I don't know, it's getting close to Halloween, getting hungry. All right, I'll see y'all in a little bit. Bye.